Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Kamiko Love from thebudgetmom.com, and today we're going to be doing a full budget recap for January. So we're going to be looking at my expense trackers. We're going to be going over where did my money go worksheets. We're basically looking at where every one of my dollars went back in January, as well as an update on all of my visual trackers. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to show you really quickly what my expense trackers look like for January. I am an all cash spender. I have a checking account that is only used to receive income and pay bills. And I also use my debit card for like online shopping or Walmart grocery pickup. I also have an expense tracker. So I keep two different expense trackers, one for my checking account and one for my cash spending. Now, in January, I had a couple different sources of income. So you can see right here, I used some vacation savings that I saved in prior months, $256. So that's included in my income for January. I also had a reimbursement for my medical insurance for a premium that I paid that I guess I didn't have to pay. So they sent me $34 in the mail. So that was counted as income. Basically, though, when I closed out my budget this month, it was really frustrating because I was like $27 off and I couldn't figure out why. And if you know me personally, like I'm a stickler about that. I will spend hours trying to figure out why my numbers aren't matching and why I'm off. But I ended up finding out I actually double counted one of my transactions, so I just whited it out here. I use the highlighter method to track my spending. Now, I'm a manual tracker. I write everything down here on my expense trackers. All over here is basically what every color means. So if you are just starting tracking your spending, when you first have everything written down, it's just going to be your pen to paper. What I want you to do is start highlighting light categories. So maybe all of your food purchases in blue, all of your gas and car maintenance expenses in purple, and go down that line. Now I use the Sharpie liquid highlighters because it comes in like 10 different highlighter colors, which means I can get a different color for every single one of my categories, almost all of them. I have vacation down here that's not highlighted. And then with my checking account, there's a couple of things I want to mention. If you pull out cash for your cash envelopes, I did that right here. You can see I put a line through it and I said, don't count. When you pull out cash for your cash envelopes, it's going to affect your checking account balance. It's going to decrease it, right? But you are tracking the cash from pulling out cash for your envelopes on your cash expense tracker. You're tracking all of that cash spending over here. You don't also want to count this transaction when you're closing out your budget, because then you're going to be double counting that transaction. So anytime you see a line through my expense tracker, it's just a personal reminder to myself, hey, Miko, don't use that transaction when closing out your budget because it's being tracked somewhere else, like on your cash expense tracker. So once a whole month is done, and usually I use the great thing about this is it's kind of like a game for me. I always challenge myself to only use one page for my expense trackers, which means that like if I'm getting close, like right here, I made it to like the very last line. It's like, okay, I can't do any more spending the rest of the month because I'll go over my page. So that's kind of helped. That fun little challenge has helped me with my spending as well. When it's all done though, I add up each page. So all of these light blue transactions from this expense tracker are added over here. And I did the same thing with this. Once I fill up a page, I add it up. What I use to close out my budget every month is 3 different worksheets. It's the Where Did My Money Go worksheets. We have the monthly budget category breakdown. Here are all the categories included in my budget. My monthly budget. Now, I'm a paycheck budgeter. I budget my money every single time I'm paid, but I have more of an overall budget for the entire month for my spending. So for instance, for food, back when I was paid on the 5th and 20th, I would spend $200 a paycheck. For the entire month, that's $400. So that's how I came up your monthly budget estimates. Now, monthly doesn't necessarily mean from the first to the last day of the month. It's whatever your tracking period is. So maybe you track your spending from the first paycheck you receive this month to your first paycheck of next month. Doesn't necessarily mean like a strict 30-day time frame. If you see green on this page over here, I'm under budget for my spending for January. If it's in red or pink, I was over. Now, I did really good because I was only truly over in one category, which was my beauty envelope. I was over by $2. I always want to be over budget in my savings category. It means I'm saving more than what I estimated I would. I was only off by $4, so my total monthly income is my starting balance. So any unused income from the previous month, which would have been December, incoming income, so any incoming income, it would be my paychecks, that check that my medical insurance paid me, and the $256 I used for savings. That's my incoming income. For a total monthly income of $6,155. My expenses equaled $6,182. All right, so all of my expenses this month equals $6,151. As you can see, I'm off by just $4, which is fine. My February starting balance was $655. That's what was left in my checking account when I closed out my budget and started February's tracking period. It needs to be included in your categories. Every dollar of your money should have a plan. So technically, the $655 does have a plan. It's getting rolled over into February so I can spend it. Now, some people don't call this starting balance. Some people call it a buffer. Some people call it a savings. You can call it whatever you want as long as in your mind it makes sense. So this is my monthly budget category breakdown. It's all about knowing where your dollars were going and if you were under or over budget for what you wanted to be as far as your limits for your categories. The next one is your monthly debt and savings breakdown. Now, in the month of January, I was able to save $1,852. That was 30% of my income. Now I'm debt free, so I have this crossed out, but you would essentially fill out the debt section the same way. It's important not just to know how much money you threw at debt for the month. What you want to know is what debts are you paying off? Specifically, what savings are you saving for? Because this whole worksheet is about making sure that your spending is aligning with your financial goals. So even though I saved $1,852, what was I saving for? And did it align with the priorities I have in my life? So sinking funds. Now, I am completing a couple of different challenges. I am completing a $5 savings challenge where I'm saving every $5 bill that I come across between now and 2020. I don't have a goal for this yet. I will figure out where I want to throw this savings at the end of the year when the challenge is over. So on my categories, when I'm breaking down what I'm saving for, I'm just calling it the $5 challenge. So I'm saving for the 2020 savings challenges, the new course that we just released in the middle of December of last year. Same thing goes for there. I don't have a specific goal where I want to throw that savings, and I won't make a decision for that savings until the end of the year when the challenges are complete. So I just labeled it 2020 challenges. I saved $96. House savings, car maintenance, vacation, Disneyland, and $529. Those are what I was saving for in January. But if you can see, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple videos ago, I had mentioned my 3 big goals for the new year. James's college fund, house savings, and my Disneyland trip with my son. Those are my top 3 priorities, but that doesn't mean I can't save for other things. It just better mean that most of my money or majority of my money better be going towards those 3 priorities. And you can see with my spending they are. 21% went toward preparing for the future, 23% went towards my house, 15% went to Disneyland, and 24% went to 529. My biggest percentages of savings were included in those 3 goals. So that is the monthly debt and savings breakdown. It's all about figuring out if you're spending and where you're throwing your income, if they are aligning with the financial goals you have set. The next worksheet is my monthly spending comparison. How did my spending compare this month to last month? And that's important because you want to make sure that you are hitting those small financial goals that you're setting for yourself as you tweak and perfect your budget to get better and better in the future. So right now, my monthly income change. It decreased by $1,177 from last month. Why is that? It could mean a couple of different things. Maybe I'm not using as much savings as I was in December, which is true because I used a lot of holiday shopping savings that I had for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas shopping. But if your income is increasing or decreasing, your spending should be compensating for those changes. So if it's in green, I spent less this month than I did last month. If it's in red, I spent more. Now, because my income decreased by a significant amount, you can see I had a lot of categories where I spent less this month than last month. It's compensating for that decreased change in income. A big thing, let's see, so holiday spending, obviously I didn't have any holiday spending in January. Savings, I did a lot less than last month. So those were my biggest changes. Now, there are a couple of things I want to share with you. My $5 challenge, I have a tracker. This is available in my free resource library. Here's where I'm at with my $5 challenge. Around December 17th, 20th, I said, hey, I'm going to start the $5 challenge and save every $5 that I come across. Here's where I'm currently at. I've tracked every single day where I've saved a $5 bill. How many $5 bills I saved, the amount, and my total saved. So as of right now today, I have $195 already saved in my $5 change jar. So that's where I'm at with my $5 challenge. Let's go ahead and look at what I have going for my trackers. Now, if you are doing the 2020 savings challenges, you would have got a tracker that looks like this. I'll also put a link to the challenges in the description of this video, but in January, I saved $276 from the 2020 savings challenges. This is just my tracker to show me how much I've saved each month as I work through them through the year. The next one is I got updated on my visual savings trackers. I have a goal to save $10,000 by the end of this year for my son's college fund. Last month, what I was able to save is highlighted in this green. Now, I didn't start this savings tracker until after I saved for a while, so this purple is where I started at. This was already saved, so I just made that purple, but so far, I'm about halfway there, getting close. The next one is my Disneyland trip. What I was able to save last month in January was saved right here in red, so I'm working my way up through that. Some other trackers I want to show you very quickly are my sinking funds trackers. I hit another one of my sinking fund goals, Chris's birthday. I now have all 4 of these sinking funds goals completed because how I use the trackers is I color in the little flower when I hit that goal so I know. And this is for 2020. I also filled out my other, so I have 2 pages for my sinking funds goals for 2020. So this one, I'm getting close to back to school. Christmas, I'm getting there. And then I started 2021 because I hit these 4 goals in 2020 already. You can see I have my worksheets labeled up here at the top. So I was able to color in one little flower for my 4th of July, and I'll be able to color these ones in shortly, but these are for 2021. So I'm already saving for that far in advance. The next thing I want to talk about is my yearly spending overview. I already filled this out for January. These worksheets, the yearly spending overview, the balance overview, this paycheck or the bill tracker, as well as the flower sinking funds, those are saved in BBP Central if you have bought a version of the workbook. So what I do is I list out all of my budget categories, and I like to track month after month after month until I get an entire year picture, because then you can start noticing trends. So I filled out my yearly spending overview. The next thing I filled out was my yearly balance overview. Now this is like your saving balances, your debt balances, your retirement balances, your net worth. I like to see my saving balance and my net worth on a graph, and you can see I started that starting points here for these little dots. So that is my full budget recap for January. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. If you're a subscriber, you'll get a notification every single time I post a new video. For the new course that okay. I don't remember if you guys remember or meant, so that is my full budget overview. Nope. Are we doing my recap?
Yep.